How to edit the Dawn theme with Shopify. Hey everyone and welcome, I hope you're all doing great. In this video I'll show you guys how to get to customize your Dawn theme within your Shopify store. Now let's actually go ahead and get started. So by default you should already have the Dawn theme installed once you actually get started with Shopify. Now if you don't, you can just go to the theme library and it should be the first one, and you can just use it from there. So once you have your Dawn theme, actually let me go ahead and get a new fresh copy of Dawn theme and let me get back to you. Okay, so I have just added the Dawn theme to my list, and you get two options, either to publish or customize. I highly recommend that you customize first, and once you're finished with your customization, then you can publish it. This way, your website doesn't look like lousy once you get started. So let me just go ahead and click on customize. So once you open up your customization page, in here you'll be able to just see the Dawn theme when first begin, and this is how it's going to look like. And just so you know, everything within here you can actually go ahead and set up and change. So anything that you can see, you can change, and you can also add elements, and I will show you how. But let's actually get started with the basics. So the first thing that you will need to go ahead and do is go to the settings tab on the left side here, the theme settings tab. So we just click on it, and in here we need to go ahead and take the time to set up all or most of those things, and we don't really need to set all of them up right away. Later on I will just explain when we would want to change any of those. So the first thing is going to be the logo here. So in here we can just go ahead and select our logo. So we just click on the logo option, and we just underneath logo select an image, and we just make sure to select our logo. I will just be using this image. It's not necessarily my logo, it's just an image that I use for my tutorials, so we can just choose it from here. And you can see already the preview that shows us our logo in here. So we can change a few things about it, or just one thing actually, which is the size of it. So we can change the size to make it smaller, as you can see within the preview, or we can make it a little bit bigger as well. So we can just go ahead and test things out and see which size suits our logo best. Each logo is going to be different, so don't necessarily copy my settings. So let me just use that. Okay, there you go. So don't necessarily just copy my settings. See which width is going to suit your logo best and keep it as that. And then you can also add a favicon image if you want to, just to make sure that the size is compatible, so 32 by 32 pixels, and make sure that's the size, and you can add it in here as well. Next, we can set up the color schemes. So in here, there are going to be a few things that you need to note. Those color schemes, you can also just click on them and edit them if you want to. And also, if you want, you can also add a completely new color scheme from scratch and create one. So for example, let me just create a new one, which is going to be scheme 6. Let's make the background to be gray, or actually let's do a gradient. So if I can just use a gradient from here. Let's just say this one, and now we can obviously change the colors. So we just click on this one and change the colors to be let's say gray, and then we just click on it again, make sure we select this one and change the color to become the second color. So let me just make it black basically. So let's see if this, okay, so this kind of looks nice. If you want to change the gradient itself, we can also do that from here, or switch it up like this, and that should be nice. Okay, and we can add more to it. Let's just do that. Okay, I think this is going to look nice. So for the text, I will just make it white. For this, I will just go ahead and make it dark red, which is going to be the buttons. And then in here, we can just change the outline to become like light gray. Shadow is going to be black, and in here we can just do you just, mess around with your schemes, and it's not going to apply just yet. You would actually need to apply it individually to each element, and I'll show you how to do so next. So that's the second option when it comes to theme settings. The third one is going to be the font and stuff. So in here, you'll be able to change the font. So you just choose whichever one you want. And also you can, change the sizing and stuff in here. So you can change the font scale, the body, if you want to change the font for the body. This is for the headings, and so on. Now for layout, you'll be able to change the padding and stuff for each stuff element. You've got animations, buttons, and so on. Now, you would necessarily just go into them unless you wouldn't really do that unless you have specific problems with specific elements. For example, buttons. You don't like how they look. You can just go here and you can go ahead and change things up. We can change the opacity, the corner radius. We can change that to become whichever one we want, and also just change whatever really we think is like best for us. So you can see now the radius changes, opacity, same thing goes here, thickness, and so on. So here you can play around with all of those completely fine, and you can just see the preview on the right side. So next up, let's talk about elements and how to edit them. So if we just go to sections here, we can see the announcement bar, which is going to be the welcome to our store. We can just click on it in order to edit it, and we can change the scheme to the one that we have just created, and it's going to change right away. That's one thing. If you want to change the text, which is welcome to our store, we can just go ahead and click on it, which is going to be underneath the announcement bar. We can just click on that and give it another thing. So just example text, and we can give it a link if it has some sort of an offer or something. We can give it a link to a specific page. So we can just do contact, for example, and it's going to actually be a button now. Now that's how to set up things for the announcement bar. Same goes for the header. If you just click on that, which is this one right here, we can give it a color scheme. So we can just click on here, make sure it's the same scheme, and you can see that it changes right away. And we can also give you the menu color scheme. Whether you want to keep it the same or not, it's completely up to you. You can set up the menu here obviously by changing which menu we want. If you did not set up menus beforehand, you would want to do so from outside of the editing here. But we can just go back out and talk about the actual sections here. So for example, this one, the image banner here. Now you can delete it if you want, or you can just adjust it and change the image yourself. So we can just go ahead and select an image and select, for example, this one, and it's going to change the image for it. Now, obviously, you would want to make this a product image unless you would want to link it to a specific product, or maybe not. I don't know. So it's completely up to you whether you want it to be more of a scenery kind of thing or a product. Completely up to you. So we just adjust the image, and we can adjust the opacity of the overlay, and you can see whether it's going to be more visible or not. So like I said, most of the time here, this banner image is not going to be a product, but I just use this for the sake of the example. Now you can change the height of the banner, whether it's going to be small, medium, or large. I'm just going to keep it as small. Again, if it's a product, you would want to make it adapt to the first image. But for the sake of this example, I'll just keep it small. And maybe even just select another image just so it makes more sense. So if I can just, if you want to add a focal point, you can do so. So let me just click on change, explore free images. Okay, so I just changed the image by just clicking on here, making a change, and explore free images, and I just used one of those free images. So here you can also adjust other things like the banner height. We talked about that, schemes, the behavior if you wanted to like move a little bit. But again, if you want to change the text, we can just go underneath it and see this one right here. We can change it by just clicking on here and just writing our own. So like, for example, shop now, or whatever you want to write. We can make it bold if you want. And like I said, the color of the text would be changed with the scheme of the entire block. So we can just go here, go to schemes, and we can just select this one is going to change the color of the text. But remember, the text in here is going to be white. For example, we can choose this one is going to be black. So we can just keep it as it was. I think this one looks nice. And again, you can edit the schemes from here. So that's how to edit things out. If we go down, now we have the other one, which is going to be featured products, which is a featured collection. You can either delete this or keep it. I prefer that if you keep it. But we can also add more sections. So we can add section, and we can add, for example, a image banner, or let's just add a image banner. No, we already have one. So let's add something else. We can add well, let me just add another image banner. Why not? Or an image with text. Okay, so we add the image with text, and it's going to be underneath. And by the way, you can move blocks around. So if you want, for example, the future collection to be at the bottom, we can do so by just holding it and dragging it below this one. And we can see now that it is going to be underneath. So to edit this one, it's exactly the same thing. We just click on it. If you want to change the schematics for it, we can just do that real quick. And we can change the image from here. So we can just add an image. For example, this one by Morses. Just use this one for example. We can just click on done when it's actually finished processing. And we can adjust the text and image height and stuff around. So for the text, we can just go ahead and click on this, and you can see we can change all of this text. Now we can make it a body style or subtitle. It's up to you. So we can just go back. We can go back here if you want. We can, let's see. So what else can we do here? So we've got ourselves, so here, let's also change this text to make it example text. So I guess you would like get to the idea of how to use now and edit things out for Dawn theme. Now make sure you specify this button. So to change where this button leads to, we can just click on it. We can give it a name, so a name. And then we can set up the link by just clicking on here. If it's a specific page, we just click on pages and select the page that we want to select it to. But we only have the contact page, so we can just use this one. And we can just now go back. Now if someone clicks on it, it's going to take them to the contact page. So now that's pretty much how to edit things out within the Dawn theme. One more thing is that you can switch between pages and edit things out. So for example, if you want to adjust the product page, you can just either click on a product and it's going to take you here and you can edit this. Or if you don't find it as easily, you can just go to the top, select it, go to products, default product, or whichever other page that you want to edit, and it's going to be exactly the same thing. You can just go ahead and add elements, add announcements, and so on. So that's pretty much how to edit your Dawn theme to your liking. And after all of this is done, if you want to publish it, you can just scroll down, find it, and click on publish. And now it's going to be your primary website design, basically. So if we just go to our online store, I think it did load in. Yeah, there you go. So you can see now it's our new design for our website. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.